I'd like to give my honest review of the Rose Skin Laser Hair Removal Unit. I absolutely love this unit, and I will tell you why. When you're using it, unlike some of the other ones that you use at home, you put it to the skin where you want it, you press, and it pulses the light. That is great. Some of the other ones, what you would do is you would drag it along the skin, it would pulse, drag a bit more, pulse, drag a bit more, pulse. Now, not only did that method miss a whole bunch, it also ended up meaning that if you had any cuts or anything on your skin, you'd have to avoid the entire area because these are not meant at all to be used on broken skin. So you would have to miss an entire area. Or if it's with this one, you could say, oh, I have a little cut right here. I'm just going to avoid that. Pulse, 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 pulse. And that is great about this. This has 5 levels, which works for me. I've had a lot of laser hair removal in stores, in doctor's offices and everything because I don't really have the strongest pain threshold, so I've had to have a lot more treatments than they need. And I've run into a lot of friends and family that have had laser hair removal. They always end up needing way more treatments than the companies will say that you do. And if you have a baby, then you could actually end up having to have it all done again. Little fun joy. I think babies are probably worth it, but it's just something to keep in mind. So this ends up really helping because I can lower it if I'm having a little bit more pain, and I can increase it if my pain threshold's higher that day. Something to keep in mind for women is if you're on your menstrual cycle, coming the week prior to your menstrual cycle, you often tend to have more pain sensitivity. So keep that in mind if you're trying to schedule either an appointment for laser hair removal, or if you're doing this just yourself at home. If you're noticing, hey, my pain threshold's a lot lower right now, I'm really sensitive, why is this happening? Could have something to do with your menstrual cycle. So maybe that's something to keep in mind. But I highly, highly recommend this one. I ended up buying it for, I think, $90 out the door. I've seen pretty much this exact same unit sold under different names. I can't speak to exactly how they work, but it seems to be the same thing. So it might be worth looking into it and seeing what the great deal you can get. One thing I would add, I am really, really concerned about eye sensitivity because I know they say it's not a big deal with these, but I just want to be safe. You can make your own decision on that. What I did is I purchased little glasses like this, and they are complete. They block out all UV rays, all this full spectrum. They're like the little glasses that you get if you've ever had your laser hair removal done in a business. And I find that they're really, really helpful. Yes, you're pretty much gonna essentially have to do this blind. You could hear a different click as to whether or not it's doing a pulse or whether or not it's not doing a pulse, because it won't do a pulse unless it's completely flat with your skin. So if I had it like this, or if I'm on an area of my skin where maybe it's not as smooth, maybe like right here, then you're gonna have to switch to this in order to get the proper pulse. So you can actually hear the difference. And I don't find a problem with it. What I do though, because these, as much as I've tried to make them perfectly fit, they almost perfectly fit. So I've gone one step further and used my sleep mask over top of it. So I wear this and this. It's actually completely comfortable. I'm not bothered by it at all. And it blocks out all the light, and I don't have to worry about my eyes. Or at least in my mind, the chances of it causing damage to my eyes is reduced. Now, just to prove that I've used these things before, here is the old version that I had. This ran out of pulses. See, it has a cartridge reading right here, and it went all the way down. And then unfortunately, this thing was an older version, and the type of replacement cartridge is no longer sold by the company. So instead of buying a new brand of this one, I bought this, because this unit is an example of the type where you have to go beep, drag a bit, beep, drag a bit, beep. That's no fun for me. I prefer deciding exactly where I want it to go. And also, if you're doing anything around the bikini area, or if you're doing your underarms, it's a much smaller area. You might want it to be a lot more exact. That's another reason that this precision can be so helpful. I hope this helps you make a better informed decision. And what I will say is this company specifically has a 90-day money-back guarantee. Now, I've not had a chance to check out that opportunity because I'm actually going to be keeping it. I really liked it, but it does advertise that it's a 90-day money back guarantee. So that's something to keep in mind if you're purchasing from this company.